Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday, and after a little bit of a delay, we are here. We are ready to go with Heroic Division Playoffs. Nsomnia versus Montreal-style Beigels. This is the bottom of the double elimination bracket, so the loser will fall out of the playoffs. After this best-of-3 matchup, the winner will go on to face the winner of Revive versus Moto. We have both teams here. Game 1 will be on Infernal Shrines, and that was the choice of Montreal-style Beigels. Nsomnia, due to their higher seed, gets to choose between map pick or first pick. They opted for first pick, with Montreal-style Beigels choosing Infernal Shrines. So both teams are here. 10 players in the lobby. And we should be going here any minute now. One of the interesting things about this particular matchup, Nsomnia had the better record and the better season, finishing the 4th seed. The first team kind of behind the big 3 of Celeb, Abusement Park, and Revive. And Montreal-style Beigels went winless through most of the season. Until the last game of the season, they picked up their first match victory with a 2-1 set over Nsomnia. So if there was a team that they're going to feel comfortable matching up against, you would theorize it might be Nsomnia. But here we go, draft for game number 1. Who is going to be the first ban? We don't need to worry about Anduin. He is not available for the entirety of the NGS Season 6 playoffs. And it's going to be Zeratul banned out. That's not surprising. Kind of the higher up the elo you climb, the more often you'll see Zeratul highly prioritized in picks and bans, and in this case, no Zeratul here in game number 1. Montreal-style Beigels will respond with the Anubarak, in my humble opinion, maybe the best all-around tank right now in our game, but he will not appear in this game. Nsomnia have one more ban to start this draft off. Let's see who they want to take off the board. It is going to be Maiev, another highly banned out hero. Where the meta is right now, I think there's a lot of heroes that you can contemplate banning. In addition to, and it's going to be Abathur, that's another one. You see the higher you climb a little bit too. First pick over to Nsomnia, and they're going to grab Anna. First pick Anna, very, very strong. The grenade build, very powerful. Both heroics can be very impactful. In my opinion, maybe the best part of her kit is the healing denial on her bio grenade. The 100% neutering of the heal is really, really strong if you time that thing right. And the response of Diablo and Sylvanas coming out for Montreal-style Beigels. Diablo is still one of the most sought-after tanks in the game, and Sylvanas, really, the second half of this NGS season has shot up in popularity. She kind of cruised under the radar the first part of the season, but teams and players started realizing just how strong she was and started really prioritizing her more. Nsomnia going with the Garrosh response into Diablo specifically. Diablo can be very tough to play into the Garrosh. Greymane with Cursed Bullet can really chunk out that Diablo pretty hard. So Christy from Montreal-style Beigels really going to need to be careful from that Garrosh taunt, toss, lockdown. And taking away one of the follow-ups, potentially, to the Garrosh taunt in the form of Valarak. About 10 seconds left for Nsomnia here to ban there. Hero, they don't take the full time. Going with the Tyrande ban, she goes really well with Diablo, and also a very strong support hero. Lockdown, single target blow up is very good. The other part of the composition from Nsomnia that the stronger teams too is Montreal-style Beigels going to go with Cassia Ariel. Ariel's not a hero I've seen a whole lot of, but the Crystal Aegis can buy some time on the back of the flip. And Cassia does put out good damage and will also get value out of her trait into the Greymane. What I started to say before those two picks came out is Anna and Garrosh go together really well. If Battlejet can land those sleeping darts, and he can make the toss setup really easy for Garrosh, because you got this poor guy just sitting there. And lastly, to round it out, we have even more anti-Diablo in the form of Malthael, and then Jaina, who's just a really well-rounded hero, fits into any composition. And Jaina and Greymane, once Greymane gets Executioner at, I believe, 16, those two go together very, very well. I imagine Montreal-style Beigels is going to come out with some kind of bruiser here. And they do. Imperious, so a lot of lockdown in the front line from Montreal-style Beigels. And a lot of ways to deal with Diablo coming out from the side of Nsomnia. So let's see how this game one goes. Neither team going too crazy with either of these comps. There's not a lot of spiciness there. They're very standard, very straightforward compositions. You know, 2 assassins, 2 frontliners, and the support. No globals for either side. Both compositions team fighty in their own ways. So I think we're going to see plenty of action here this game one, as these two teams have taken compositions here into Infernal Shrines that show like they want to brawl it out a little bit. We're going to see fights over these objectives. It's going to be a good time. Potential for some wombos coming out with the taunt Jaina on the side of Nsomnia. So let's see how this goes. I think I like Nsomnia's draft just a little bit more, but not that much. There's really not much to set those two drafts apart. Game is about loaded, and here we are. Game number 1. Heroic Division Playoffs, lower bracket. The loser will be eliminated from the Season 6 playoffs. The blue team, number 4 Nsomnia, Wally Snit on Garrosh, Innafox on Jaina, Battlejet 86 on Anna, French on Greymane, and Jamster will be playing Malthael. The red team, Montreal-style Beigels, will feature Christie on Diablo, Bay Dragon on Ariel, Breakwood on Sylvanas, Jira on Cassia, and Fiducia on Imperious. And I love the mounts, very colorful mount selections coming out by Montreal-style Beigels. So early advantage to them simply on their mount selection. The other thing we didn't talk about is taking the Jaina with the Garrosh is really strong. There's the taunt on the Diablo. He is able to shadow charge himself to safety. Later on in this game, as Garrosh really takes a beating. Later on, when Garrosh gets his self-cleanse, he can actually toss the Diablo and then cleanse himself to not allow Diablo to get away quite as easily. I theorized it might be a brawly game, and early is no disappointment as these two teams really dished it out in the mid lane. We'll take a peek in the top lane momentarily, make sure we give our solo laner some time in the stun. Imperious landing that Impale onto Jamster, and it looks right now like Imperious getting a little bit to the better of the top lane, but not too much to set these guys apart. Back into the 4-man, Garrosh and Jaina have started on the mid lane siege camp. Montreal-style Beigels responding by moving on to the bottom camp. Garrosh is going to sniff this out. Diablo is there waiting for him. Dismounts with the flame stomp. Garrosh stepping in. Looks like he wants the challenge though. But just throws Diablo around a little bit instead. Each side securing a camp. Montreal-style Beigels will need to rotate mid lane. Now they're trying to catch them and slow this rotation. Christie, that is a dangerous rotation. He is able to shadow charge onto Greymane to get himself almost out of trouble. Bay Dragon had just enough healing to make sure that Christie stayed up. The rest of Montreal-style Beigels here in the mid lane to get the soak. Worth noting, Diablo taking the Soul Shield at 1. When he's filled up, he's really going to be able to eat a lot of that Jaina damage if he wants to. That 75 spell armor is really, really strong. And both sides rotating onto camps pretty much the same time. Again, MSB onto the mid camp. Oh, I missed it. Cassia rotated and they caught out Malthael. First blood over to Montreal-style Beigels. That was terrible caster timing. I should have seen that. And looks like they're eyeing Jaina right now. Infofox, though, he smelt something was a little funny down here and decided to hearth back, but not far enough. Infofox is caught out with the slam and the overpower. Not able to finish him off. They will send him back to the Hall of Storms. In the top lane, Imperius and Cassia are getting the mirror of the top lane bruisers. Both teams going to top off, and they will start moving toward the objective momentarily. Early advantage on the objective will go to Nsomnia, though. They are here and in better position. And by the time MSB gets there, they're going to have, 15 to 20 of these little shrine monkeys. But Montreal-style Beigels has arrived a little bit. Christie trying to zone out Nsomnia. Imperius not quite here yet. He's on his way. In the top lane, the two siege camps are canceling each other out, so no advantage given there. The only advantage really showing right now is Diablo charges in as those 27 Shrine Guardians dodges the initiation by the Garrosh, but Nsomnia did not dodge the triple impale by Fiducia, leading to a double kill and almost certainly having our first Arcane Punisher of the game, looking like it might go to Montreal-style Beigels. Now, Garrosh and Anna are here. The danger pings are coming out. Garrosh is really flirting with it as his team is not here. Montreal-style Beigels secure the first John Cena of the game. It is an Arcane Punisher. Will barrel down the mid lane. Imperius rotating to the top to play with Greymane. John Cena going to drop the elbow drop onto Garrosh. There it is. And Sylvanas shutting down the towers. Really going to add to the sieging potential of this Punisher. That's only down to half strength when this front wall is going down. Montreal-style Beigels really eyeballing some siege damage. John Cena gets a triple stun there. That's a little surprising. Usually teams will kind of break up a little bit when they feel that second jump coming, but that's a really max value out of the first objective for Montreal-style Beigels. Typically you don't see a full fort fall. Usually it's a wall and maybe a little bit of personality onto the fort, but a full fort with the Sylvanas on the back of that Punisher. And first few minutes here, Montreal-style Beigels looking real good. Certainly not looking like a 6 seed into a 4 seed. Gonna secure the bottom camp one more time. Nsomnia pinging danger in this bush as they do not see any members of Montreal-style Beigels. However, now they're coming. Imperius is closer than Greymane. So if he wanted to come down here, he could. But Nsomnia, they just bugged out and seem to be seeding this camp over to Montreal-style Beigels. Maybe aware of, and there goes Diablo onto Jaina. Jaina stepped up too far, and Christie really pulled the trigger quickly. No hesitation, able to land the Shadow Charge and the Overpower. The follow-up from Sylv and Cassia was enough to secure the kill. Now using the Sylv trait here in the bottom lane to push with the Giants. Front wall goes down fast, pushing in, eyeballing this fort here. And MSB looking strong. They are going to win the race to 10. They looks like they will secure yet another fort. And that is going to be 2 forts before the second objective spawns. A little bit unusual. Early game very much in favor of Montreal-style Beigels as they rapidly approach their heroic abilities. Diablo kind of by himself, shark around for somebody here. A little bit of a bush party. Looking for a squishy to rotate through here. Garrosh is not that squishy, but they're going to go on him anyway. Shadow Charge, Domination. Self-proc doesn't matter when you're body blocked. Ball Lightning goes out. Not going to be enough to finish Garrosh, but it is going to be a Lightning Breath Wrath of the Angiris. That's not the common heroic that you see out of Imperius. Crystal Aegis, Wailing Arrow, and Ball Lightning. Heroic selections for Montreal-style Beigels. Diablo, Christie playing very aggressive, walking toward them with 10s, and he doesn't have his teammates behind him, but boy, he is acting like it. But Garrosh, Jaina are here to support, as is Jamster. Christie is very much by himself. Teammates is arriving, albeit a little bit slowly. Now he's finally backing up and taking a lot of damage, but Wrath of the Angiris will take Jamster back there. Jaina falls. Last rites canceled by Crystal Aegis. And Montreal-style Beigels really sending a message here in the early game. Christie looked like he was really tempting fate, but full faith in his teammates to rotate up in time. And they did, securing another double kill, another camp, and will allow them to posture on to the top objective. The second Punisher here early. Heroics are here for Nsomnia. It is Last Rites, as we saw, canceled out by the Crystal Aegis. Nano Boost for Ana. Water Elemental for Jaina. Cursed Bullet, as expected, from Greymane to help deal with that Diablo. And Warlord's Challenge for Garrosh. So a lot of housekeeping to be done by Nsomnia. They are now starting to make their way up here. This objective is going to be a 30-plus Shrine Monkeys before Nsomnia gets there. They have arrived. They're stepping in. Diablo is in the bush. Shrine Monkeys at 34 in favor of Montreal-style Beigels. And here we have another fight. Nsomnia wanting to step in before level 13s are here by MSB, and they are. But once again, MSB just blows up first Garrosh and then Malthael, as well as securing a frozen Punisher that is 8 kills for naught. Innifox in a terrible position, being chased down by Sylvanas. A fantastic Blizzard makes Sylvanas break off, but they have to know he's in the books. Your Haunting Wave, no teleport. The two of them dancing. Now, Greymane is coming over. This is really interesting. So Innifox will get away. Greymane is sharking around for Sylvanas. Meanwhile, top lane, Frozen Punisher drops yet another fort of Nsomnia. 13 talent tier advantage for Montreal-style Beigels. They have Sylvanas as John Cena jumps over the wall. I imagine we're going to see Trait shutting down. Christie going in deep again. He does get flipped, but Wrath of the Angiris takes away Garrosh. Last rites canceled by Crystal Aegis one more time. Malthael goes down again. 9 unanswered kills. Garrosh in trouble. Shadow charged into the wall. Overpowered. And down he goes. That was a fantastic Blizzard, though, getting a lot of damage. But first keep over to Montreal-style Beigels. 9 minutes and 56 seconds into this game. They are up a full 3 levels, 10 unanswered kills, and with 2 catapults and a minion wave, they are now targeting the mid-keep wall, while Nsomnia is playing cleanup on the Punisher. This is a very confident, very strong Montreal-style Beigels team. And barring something bizarre happening, Montreal-style Beigels is going to be up a talent tier for the rest of this game until level 20. Because right when Nsomnia hits 13, MSB is going to be on the verge of 16. And now they are really looking to push in this siege camp with the Sylvanas push. Malthael is showing in the top lane. They know Nsomnia has to deal with pressure elsewhere. Setting up in the bush, maybe targeting this Jaina, who is doing a little housekeeping in the mid lane. She doesn't overstep, so no opportunity there for a pick from MSB. Instead, they're going to be content to keep these lanes pushed out, keep the pressure on Nsomnia. Sylvanas is way over to the right with Ariel taking another mercenary camp for Montreal-style Beigels, and Diablo's kind of sharking around in the bushes, just keeping tabs on where Nsomnia is. Garrosh and Diablo playing kind of footsie in the bush there. Diablo going hard. He does catch the Garrosh. Into the fray gets, I should say, Greymane gets Greymane away, but here comes Montreal-style Beigels. Garrosh is very low. They're able to finish him off and then catch Greymane with Wrath of the NGS, and 2 more kills over to Montreal-style Beigels, now using the catapults and the Sylvanas trait to shut down this wall, locking in more siege damage. Malthael is going to make his way down and see if he can do what he can to save this bottom keep, but I do not think this keep is going to be saved. This is about the most effective and efficient use of Wrath of the NGS that I think I have ever seen. They have gotten a lot of value out of that heroic, which is not typically the meta pick that you see out of Imperius. Typically, you see Imperius players take angelic armaments. Looks like we have a pause, maybe a DC or a lag issue. Our tank is dying and Christie is choking. Oh, well, that's not good. Okay, well, let's give Christie a chance to recover from choking on something. Maybe his glass of water. Wrong pipe, possibly. So this is looking really fantastic for Montreal-style Beigels. 2 keeps are down, top and bottom. The next Punisher will proc in the bottom lane. They are 3 levels and a full talent tier up with all of their structures still up and fighting. Nsomnia is going to need to pull off a comeback for the ages here to pull this one back. They're going to need multiple decisive team fight victories while playing possibly down a hero, because they're going to have to dedicate somebody at the very least to take care of the 2 katas that are going to push down the top lane momentarily. They will likely be, not likely, they will be fighting down a talent tier as well. Very rough spot for Nsomnia, and Montreal-style Beigels looking really strong. So it looks like Christie is back and ready to go. Just waiting to get the thumbs up from Nsomnia. And then we'll get the countdown and get game 1 going again. Any moment. Any moment. All right, we've got the R's. 3, 2, 1. Back into the game for our 3rd Punisher. And Nsomnia has some difficult choices to make here. You can see on the mini-map, that's 2 katas and a big wave that's going to push in. Time is really on the side of Montreal-style Beigels, and Nsomnia knows they kind of just have to go in here and see what they can get done. Imperius gets thrown this time, but Garrosh is taking so much damage. Crystal Aegis is used this time not to cancel the last rites. So last rites hasn't gone out yet. Diablo goes down. Malthael goes down. Now Diablo will be right back up because he had souls. So that is a 3-4-2 in favor of Montreal-style Beigels. Diablo is on his way. MSB for a moment postured like they were going to try to end, and then simply decided to go get the objective. The objective will likely end the game either way. And Sylvanas and Ariel are a little bit low on health. So maybe get the full team here and secure the Mortar Punisher. Sylvanas breaking off with the team to go tap and then come back in. 20 Shrine Monkeys going over to Nsomnia. I'm sorry, Montreal-style Beigels. Nsomnia not really in a position to step in here right now, and it doesn't look like they're going to even try. So instead, they're going to have to bait... Oh, I lied. I was wrong. They are going to try, but it won't matter. So this is going to be a flanking maneuver. When you get to places like this, you fight behind the Punisher. That's exactly what Nsomnia is doing. Christie, you would think, should know that, and he did see them. Garrosh misses the Groundbreaker. Montreal-style Beigels has to figure that they're in this bush And they're doing a nice job of just hanging out by the Punisher, making sure if they come in, the Punisher will go. Cassia split off from the group, though. She is Groundbreaker, tossed, taunted, Cursed Bullet, but a team is there to save her, and Cassia does not go down, but Garrosh does, Greymane does, Malthael does, and that is going to be game 1 going over to Montreal-style Beigels in decisive fashion. 18-2 in kills. All of their structures are up, make that 19-2, 20-2 in kills. So that was a really impressive showing by Montreal-style Beigels, taking game number 1 in a very dominant fashion over their opponents, Nsomnia. So there's the stats, those of you who like those kinds of things. And big props to Fae Dragon on the Ariel, the Crystal Aegises, to completely counteract. The last rites were really good throughout. It looked like at the end of the game, Nsomnia tried to make an adjustment and bait that out before last rites, but at that point they were so far down in the game, it kind of didn't matter. You're really going to have to pull something out of your hat to pull off a 17-14 in level team fight win. So not surprising that Nsomnia wasn't able to do that, but they were desperate at that point. You kind of just have to throw caution to the wind and YOLO in there and maybe get a little bit lucky, maybe outplay the opponent a little bit, but was not to be. So Nsomnia now 1 loss away from being eliminated from the Nexus Gaming Series Season 6 Heroic Division Playoffs, the first double elimination playoffs we've ever run. A little bit of an experiment in Heroic this season to see how it goes. So we'll be right back in just 1 minute for Game 2. Hang tight. Well, I told you it wouldn't be long. We are back for Game 2 on my very favorite map to cast Towers of Doom. Map choice here, it looks like of Montreal-style Beigels. So that means Nsomnia opted for first pick one more time. That last game, Nsomnia picked a lot of tools to try to deal with the Diablo, but they really weren't able to. They just never really seemed to find their footing in that game 1. Nsomnia was just the more aggressive, more decisive team, really, from the get-go, and just saw it. So we do have the R's coming out from both teams. Game 2 should be started here momentarily. And here we go. Alright, so welcome to Towers of Doom for our heroic Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. First band, go over to Nsomnia. What adjustments do you make if you're Nsomnia after a fairly one-sided Game 1? Game 2 is one of the more fun drafts to watch, just generally and competitive, because the drafts get interesting. You have to decide between the meta bands or the map bands or the scouting bands that you had on your opponents before going into the game, or maybe something they threw at you Game 1 that you weren't expecting. But it's going to be Maiev and Abathur banned out again, very similar to Game 1. Second ban coming out for Nsomnia. And it is going to be Diablo. So that's the adjustment between Game 1 and Game 2 I was talking about. Christie on Diablo, they're saying, well, that was a problem. And Christie was hyper-aggressive. And really, all of the players from Montreal-style Beigels just did such a great job of supporting his aggression. Anubrak banned out one more time by Montreal-style Bagel, so perhaps the top two tanks in the game right now taken off the board. But that does leave Zeratul available, and Nsomnia wastes no time in snapping him up. Zeratul, when played by a skilled player, oh so powerful, very impactful, and completely aggravating to be on the other side of. The response coming out is Anna and Sylvanas for Montreal-style Bagels, prioritizing the back line instead of the front, and really prioritizing that Sylvanas, who was a factor Game 1. No two ways about it. Montreal-style Bagels in Game 1 did a fantastic job of absolutely maximizing the value they got out of the Sylvanas trait. Every opportunity they got to push down a lane with mercs, with minions, whatever, shut down those towers, they did. They did it with the Punishers as well. And really showing why they prioritize her, because clearly they're comfortable playing around her. Nsomnia picking up Johanna and a Jaina. VP Ring of Frost is very strong. Those two go together very well. Tyrande being banned out by Montreal-style Bagels. Who is Nsomnia going to respond with? And this time they're going to ban out the Tyrael. Now that just says to me that Nsomnia doesn't want them to hit that sanctification button and get rid of those VPs. So ETC Imperious, another Imperious game for Montreal-style Bagels. Nsomnia now going to really show their hand, as the Jaina Zera Johanna doesn't really show anything. But if we were going to see something spicy, clearly this is where it would come. No, nothing too spicy. You're going to pick up a Lucio. Lucio and Jaina is interesting together because you have the slows combined with the speed. It means the pursuit from Nsomnia is going to be pretty solid. We can put that with the Urel as well. In addition to the pursuit, just the kind of speed differential between the two of them. And responding with a Lily coming out for Montreal-style Bagels. So the double support, Lily, Anna, solo carry Sylvanas. It would have taken me a long time before I would have guessed Lily coming out last pick for Montreal-style Bagels. Does that mean it's going to be a water dragon Lily? Is it going to be Cups? I have no idea. All right, game number 2. Nsomnia, desperate to pick up this win and keep their playoff hopes alive. Montreal-style Beigels, on the other hand, looking for another dominant performance coming off of what they had in game 1 and hoping to pull off the upset and advance in the lower bracket. So game number 2, the blue team Nsomnia. Wally Snit on Johanna, Jamster on Urel, Infofox on Zeratul, French on Jaina, and Battlejet on Lucio. The red team, Christy on ETC, Jira on Lily, Breakwood on Sylvanas, Fiducia on Imperius, and Fey Dragon on Anna. Montreal-style Beigels. So here we go. The double support comp versus the burst and the wombo combo potential of Nsomnia. I wonder if the thinking, as Christy, very aggro again, but this time forced to use his cooldowns to go the other direction. Speaking of aggro, Breakwood is really in there deep. I wonder if the thinking from Montreal-style Beigels is, you know, Johanna, scratch that, not Johanna, Jaina is so cooldown dependent, and that's really where a lot of their damage is going to come from. If we can kind of live through that initial Jaina burst, and Nsomnia is trying to cut off this rotation and really beat up on MSB a little bit here, but it's actually Lucio who takes the most damage. ETC does rotate down the safe way, pick up that bot lane soap for MSB. So I wonder if Montreal-style Beigels, they're thinking, well, we're just going to double support our way through that Jaina, and then she is going to be out of cooldowns, and we'll win off the back of that. Perhaps? Montreal-style Beigels trying to scout out the camp, but not to get there in time. Urel and Imperius still dueling in the top lane. We'll go check on them momentarily. So not a whole lot to see here. Jamster getting the brunt of it just a little bit more, but not too much. In the meantime, teams clashing over the siege camp on MSB's side, but the dual support working really strong. Those red health bars until just a moment ago were very, very high, but now finally starting to bleed down. But Johanna eats a power slide, as does Zeratul, and then Zera says, I don't care that I have no health and no mana. I am going onto Anna, and she is going to run for her life. If Christy has a power slide, he might be able to do something about it, but it comes off cooldown too late. First blood and a double kill going over to Nsomnia is not only did they commit to that invade and picking up those kills, but they really committed, as basically everybody came down here. Imperius, in the meantime, responding by getting the pumpkin sappers in the top lane. So, triple altar spawn, about a full level advantage for Nsomnia. So, Imperius channeling upper right, Urel channeling upper left. It'll be a gentleman's trade for the top two altars. In the meantime, both teams posturing in the bottom. Lucio very deep, Sleep Dart misses. ETC taking a lot of damage. Zeratul sharking around on the flank. French is channeling, the interrupt is hit. Both Imperius and Urel have now arrived for our first true 5-on-5 of the game. But Christy, remembering that ETC is simply not as tanky as Diablo is, he's really getting beat up. Impale does land on the Zeratul, Lucio booping them away. French able to sneak the channel on the backside, and then Jamster hitting the 3-man get out of here swipe. That is 2 altars for 1. In favor of Nsomnia. ETC sharking for that invade again. Imperius is in the top. Urel coming down now, so that will be a small, very small soak advantage to Montreal-style Beigels. They do secure the Pumpkin Sappers one more time. And back into lane we go. Teams continuing the race to level 10. Small advantage in that department for Nsomnia by about a half level or so. However, with no tank here in this bottom lane, speed boost going out there, going into Lily. Nice haunting wave away by Sylvanas to get out of there. But with no tank in this bottom lane, they should, Nsomnia, be able to push those Pumpkin Sappers in. Two of them have gone in. One of them is taking a nap right now. And they are able to clean it up. Yes? No. Yes. Montreal-style Beigels will clean up the last Pumpkin Sapper. Only two of them going in. And only a single altar spawning here about 5 minutes into the game. Zeratul has taken over in the top lane for Urel. ETC has a whole party waiting for him. It's a surprise party, don't tell him. But they may have actually caught Lily. She is slowed, she is sped against, but Battlejet just took so much damage that it actually, it was Lucio who looked like he was in trouble. That double support played big time there. First kill for Montreal-style Beigels goes down on Johanna, with Imperius trying to channel in the top lane, and the Singularity Spike from Zeratul does not explode to interrupt him. So solo altar spawn and a single kill going to Montreal-style Beigels. That will bring this experience very close to even, as well as evening out the core health. So a little bit of taking back the momentum for Montreal-style Beigels. A nice little moment that they needed. Double support was just enough to keep Lily alive. ETC walks right by Zeratul, and he is pretty far forward, and here they go on him. The Christie is in trouble. Blizzard doesn't get a whole lot of value. He kind of went the other direction. Now, if he has Power Slide, no. So ETC overstepping, the whole team was there waiting for him. And now they're rotating bottom to try to catch anybody on Montreal-style Beigels. They will not. And the Pumpkin Sappers will go into the bottom, nearly taking out the tower. Level 10s are here for the side of Nsomnia. We have Ardent Defender for Urel, Ring of Frost for Jaina, Blessed Shield for Johanna, Void Prison for Zeratul, and Sound Barrier, yes, for Lucio. Level 10s now also here for Montreal-style Beigels. Wailing Arrow, Water Dragon with Lily as the second support. Angelic Armaments this time, the more traditional selection. ETC is not showing. There is Water Dragon. It does catch Johanna. The healing reduction is procced. In the meantime, Imperius zoning out for Sylvanas. Montreal-style Beigels will get the upper right and rotate away. I don't think they're going to contest. Fiducia is going in pretty deep. Now, one of the supports is here. VP catches two, but the Wailing Arrow, what a Wailing Arrow to cancel the Wombo, at least momentarily, threw their timing off, if nothing else. Lily still barely up. She finally falls. But the Wailing Arrow from Breakwood catching four. There is a four-man mosh pit under towers, followed up by a four-man impale. Urel goes down. Jaina goes down. More importantly, Sylvanas doesn't, because she was in trouble. Another three-man power slide. Christie really going in hard, keeping Breakwood alive and setting up the double kill with a huge mosh pit. Great play there from the front line of Fiducia and Christie on ETC and Imperius. So game dead even, 4 kills to 3. Experience very, very close. Core health dead even. And now they're posturing around these giants again. Once again, ETC very far forward. They've shown they're not opposed to going on them, but Zera not doing it. Sylvanas has arrived. Here comes Water Dragon. Who will it hit? It does get on the Zeratul. ETC is very far forward. Now Imperius arrives. Impale misses. Sylvanas is very low. But Imperius really going in, and it's going to be Zeratul the first to fall. The shield from Lucio is just a little bit late. Great disengage there from the Urel, though. Montreal-style Beigels showing flashes of the hyper-aggression they showed in Game 1. And this is the first time this game they're going to be able to use that self-push power if they really want to. Not only will they get the tower here in the bottom lane, maybe the fort. Lily is channeling on the backside. That is 4 more shots for Montreal-style Beigels. And Jaina is in trouble, using the speed and the slows to get herself out of here. But this bottom lane fort will go down. As will Johanna. Water Dragon combined with the ETC Imperius is pretty nasty. And I imagine that's not something you see too much in scrims, is Water Dragon Lily. So maybe an adjustment to come out for Nsomnia, but that combo has been pretty nasty. So Montreal-style Beigels posturing to try to push the Sappers in to defend their newly acquired fort. Johanna stepping in deep. Water Dragon has a very low cooldown, and it is up again. Actually, pretty much all the heroics are up as Wailing Arrow just came online right now. Inafox, he's looking for that VP, but the silence may have prevented it, and Zera's in trouble. VP used probably a little bit in desperation. A 3-man Mosh with very little health actually secures 1 kill each way with Zera and ETC going down. But that Mosh may have prevented even more damage as they once again could not follow up on the Void Prison. The first time it was the excellent Wailing Arrow to break up the engagement, and this time it was like the 400 health Mosh Pit out of ETC that prevented the engagement on the back of the VP. Meanwhile, triple altar spawn. Ana is spawning here. Lily is here to try to deter, but the speed of Lucio means these 2 healers here will have to back up. Sylv will get the upper right uncontested. Meanwhile, top lane, I can't really show it because of everything that's going on here. Water Dragon used defensively. Iron Skin used to cancel the Water Dragon. ETC has arrived, and now the counter engage for MSB is real. Johanna has already used Iron Skin, so she can be in trouble, and the Pumpkin Sapper's actually on her too. Both teams now arriving. So slow health bars. Sylvanas goes down. In the top lane, Zeratul actually able to bully off Imperius. And unless they have something to get rid of Jaina here, MSB needs to get out, because Zera and Urel will be on their way. And there it is, harassing the Ana, burning her down, using those teleports to dodge in and out, and they're not able to finish off Ana. Zeratul limps away and Impale on the backside. The raw Ring of Frost only catches 1. Power Slide going in, finally finishing off the Zeratul. This double support comp is so difficult to kill anybody. But Lily has no mana. Ana is very low on mana. And the bell tower stands uncaptured by either squad. MSB has tapped. They are re-engaging now with very full health and mana bars, with the exception of Imperius. That is why he will channel. The teammates will zone away, and that is, although it didn't look like it initially, 2 altars going over 2 Montreal-style Beigels of the 3, and now they have gotten Urel. Water Dragon will go out and will catch her, but she will be safely under the fortifications of the core. Nobody going to cross into the danger zone there from Montreal-style Beigels.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center.
So once again, Pumpkin Sappers are secured by MSB. Both sides, I mean, this game is oh so close in everything but the core. They may have caught Zera again. VP used defensively, but the damage over time does kill Zeratul. The Ring of Frost and Blizzard go out, but with Zeratul dead, there was nobody there to cancel it, and the timing was just not quite there. Imperius and Yrel continue to soak and spar in the offlane. There goes Water Dragon landing onto an iron-skinned Johanna. MSB really trying to push those sappers in, unable to do so. But 11 core shots up, despite being completely equal in experience, very close in kills. But that extra bell tower, combined with the double altar capture by Montreal-style Beigels, giving them a nice little lead. And now we have mid shrine and bot shrine spawning. Zera and Yrel on their way here. Only Christie here for the side of Montreal-style Beigels. Now they are trickling in. Johanna trying to dismount the Lily, unsuccessful. And both sides, it looks like, going to ignore the bottom for now and brawl over the top. So everybody pressing their buttons. Zera going hard onto Anna. There's the Water Dragon. Zera the first to go down. Impale catching 2. MSB winning again. Ring of Frost only catching the Imperious. Christie is always right in the middle of everything. He might be the most aggro tank I have ever seen. Actually tried to land a mosh pit there, but it went on the 10-second interrupt. Breakwood using those haunting waves to reset the damage, going in hard. Johanna going down, and with a red fort here to the left, Nsomnia has nowhere to run to. That is 3 unanswered kills, and will be a double altar spawn, 10, count them, 10 shots on core. That will leave the boss as a win condition. With only 4 shots left, Montreal-style Beigels can rotate up onto boss and try to win the game if they want. And with 20 seconds plus for both Johanna and Jaina, this is going to be a tall order for Nsomnia. Here they go. Zeratul is here. Void Prison is up. So there is that. He's bobbing and weaving, dancing in and out. 10 seconds till Jaina and Johanna spawn. It looks like MSB might be coming off the boss to fight, and they are. Boss does a lot of damage here on Towers of Doom. MSB decided it's just a little dicey. Imperius is low on mana, and they call off the boss. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. They're really controlling this game right now. So I really don't mind that call to simply back up and make sure they can get what they need. Great pre-cleanse by Dejira on the Lily there. Silva's trying to solo this camp, but Zera has found her out. Breakwood now running for his life. On the backside, though, Water Dragon one more time, causing so many problems. Sylvanas isn't right here. This is the best APOC that they've had a chance. There's the VP Ring Frost, catches 2. But still, nobody going down, and Christie isolating out 2 with the mosh pit. The double support, the Ana healing, is just countering so much damage by Nsomnia. Jaina going down. Johanna is in trouble as well, split out from her teammates, and down she goes, except for the sound barrier comes out to save her. However, 2 win conditions on the board for Montreal-style Beigels. They have the channel, they have the boss. Water Dragon goes out. It is going to finish off the Yrel. And barring something miraculous here by Nsomnia, ladies and gentlemen, Montreal-style Beigels will take the 2-0 and eliminate the number 4 seeded Nsomnia from the playoffs. Very well played by Nsomnia. They looked very strong both of those games. And a little bit surprising if you've kept track of the Heroic Division this season. But they don't look like a team that was struggling during the season. They looked very strong here in both of those games. Let's see if maybe we can get one of those guys in here for a quick interview, as I'm a little bit behind my own schedule, but we'll see if we can get someone in here for a couple of minutes. And here is the talents. for game number 2. All right, so DM out to Christy to see if he would like to, or she would like to, jump on in for an interview, or if a representative from Montreal-style Bagels would like to jump on in. That was a very surprising result. So that's actually twice this season that Montreal-style Bagels has taken a win off of Nsomnia. So now they will get to face the winner of the Revive Moto matchup. And have one more crack at advancing in this double elimination playoffs and staying in. But a really great showing by those guys tonight. And there he is, Mr. Christie. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And you?
Good. Tell me how you guys are feeling, because looking at the standings and following the season, no two ways about it. That was an upset on paper. But you guys just frankly looked like the stronger team tonight, game 1 in particular. Did you have a particular strategy in mind? Were you just playing loose? What was it like?
I guess we were playing loose, but I think we're way better than we were at the beginning of the season. We've been going through some roster change and just adapting to each other. But since I'd say about a month, it's been going very well, and then we've actually beaten them in the regular season. It was our first victory as a team.
I remember. I was keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. So we're feeling very good.
Before I talk about those games, what I noticed in both of these games, my friend, you might be the most aggressive tank player I ever have seen. You are just all up in everything. Is that just kind of how you've always played? And what's that like? You talked about briefly adjusting, your teammates adjusting to you. I imagine that has to be a little bit of an adjustment from those guys, because, man, you go up in it, no hesitation. What's that like having your teammates to make sure they're there to support you on a very aggro play style like that?
Yeah, well, I'm known as the guy that plays in the future, because I usually go in, I die, but we kill all their team. So I'm just way ahead of everybody. But no, I guess that's part of our adjustment. Our comms have been doing very well lately, so everybody knows what's the game plan, I guess, or how the battles are gonna go, how the fights are gonna go. So I mean, when they go in, they know, and sometimes they even tell me like, "Can you go in? Can you go in now? You want to fight?" I'm good. So yeah, I didn't know I was the most aggressive one, but
the most aggressive that I've seen, man. You just always seem to be up in there. I play tank for my squad, not nearly at the level you guys do, clearly, but most guys will kind of pick their spots, and this isn't a criticism at all. It's just an observation. Your spot seems to be like, whenever I can get a hold of somebody, that's cool. I'm just going to go in there and start smacking people around.
Oh yeah, sure. No, personally, I like to team fight. That I'm always looking for an opportunity to kill somebody, I guess.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. Being able to do that in game 1 with a fully sold Diablo with spell shield. That's kind of one thing. You can really stick your head in there. But ETC is not quite as sturdy as Diablo, I would say. I'm sure the double support had part of that, but I was pretty impressed you were able to stay in there and stay up to the same level that you were game 2 to game 1.
But yeah, ETC is really a comfort for me. I don't feel ease. I guess he's squish, but then you can play around the 25 armor.
Yeah, you can, for sure.
I guess you play around at the fact that nobody wants to get stunned by him.
Mm-hmm.
So you can. It's possible just go go far ahead and just get in their face, knowing that anyway I have a way out with the slide and can always peel even for myself with a W. Or so I think he's a comfort for me, so I know his limit and what I can do with it.
All right, so last question. So going forward, you guys going to play either Moto or Revive, depending on how that matchup stacks up. But moving forward in the bracket, there's a very real chance that the only opponent you guys will have left will kind of be that Abusement Park, Celeb, Revive, Big Three. Now that you guys kind of feel like you're playing better at your top of your game, what do you think of kind of playing into any of those guys, where you guys would be the underdog, but where you're feeling really good about yourselves coming in?
Not against those three, not exactly. We haven't played a lot with them, and when we did, we got destroyed.
Well, that's because they're really freaking good.
Yeah, no, they're good. So I don't know. I guess when that time comes, we're just gonna, we're gonna try to have fun and try to play as liberated as we can.
Okay, I lied. One more question. Who's the mad scientist that decided last pick Water Dragon Lily?
Oh, we've been practicing this for so long. We're just waiting for the moment to to get it out.
Was that kind of, you figured the double support to just kind of live through all that Jaina stuff and then you got to go on him? Was that the line of thinking?
We were more looking at the Zero tool, since we when the Zero tool was picked, we then picked Sylvanas and Anna, and we know that those two are they're squished and they can be easily killed by. So the Lily was there to provide heals for Anna and make everybody in the backline that much harder to kill. So in this fight, it gave us more time to deal with the Zero tool that was coming in and deal with all the damage they had.
All right, man. Well, that's it for me. Congratulations on the Water Dragon Lily win. That thing got crazy value. Any shout-outs on your way out the door?
Shout out to you for casting on game. Thanks a lot. Shout out to my team. Lately, we've been having a lot of fun, and so yeah.
All right.
Shout out to NGS.
Well, that's what it's all about, guys. Congratulations on the win. Enjoy it. We'll catch you going forward in the playoffs. That's Christy from Montreal-style Beigels, and that is going to do it for me. We're going to send you over though for more NGS action. We're gonna go from the penthouse here to the first floor lobby, as we have the Division D West. I believe it's West. Yes, Division D West semifinals, where we have number 1 seeded Boogan Squad taking on number 4 seeded Clouded Minds, casted by my good buddy Arrow. So we're going to send you over to there. Enjoy the show, guys. Have a good night, and we'll catch you next time.